Jiri Prochazka has one upper hand over Khalil Rountree Jr., and that's his wrestling. You might say I'm crazy, but Yuri has time and again proved that his wrestling is very good. He he kept his own against Glover Teixeira, a really good grappler, an active submission artist. He is a BJJ black belt, a thorough BJJ black belt, not like the black belts that they're distributing right now. And against him, Jiri Prochazka was able to hold his own, even reverse him many a times, and get a submission victory over Glover Teixeira. Now you can say Glover made a lot of mistakes in that match, and blah blah blah, and that's why Jiri won that match. But the point is that he was able to reverse many positions, to defend himself, to even be on top of some of the wrestling scrambles that were happening in that match, and was able to finally submit Glover out of all people, to win the light heavyweight championship. Now, even against his match, in his first match against Alex Pereira, he was able to get takedown over Alex Pereira in the first round. Something which Magomed Ankalaev, a real wrestler from Dagestan, wasn't able to get in their match. And he was able to, you know, take Alex Pereira down, keep him there for a considerable amount of time, even though Alex got up back to his feet and then in the second round knocked Jiri Prochazka down. But still, he was able to take down Alex. He has that in his arsenal. It's just that he doesn't use that. He hasn't used that effectively after the Alex fight. He hasn't used that against Jamal Hill. He did not use that against Alex in the second fight. He did not particularly use that against even Alexander Rakic. So that begs the question whether Jiri Prochazka will use this tool in his arsenal against Khalil Rountree Jr. Because, to be honest, Yiri can win the fight standing up. He has these awkward movements, the attacks come from awkward positions, and he might be able to overwhelm Khalil Rountree Jr. with his movement, with the attacks coming from all directions, some directions that Khalil wouldn't even imagine. And that's going to be a real test of Khalil's caliber. But Khalil Rountree Jr. in his own right is really fast. And he just throws his soul behind his shots. The the torque that he throws in his straight left, in his right hook, etc., and the sheer sound that it makes when it strikes the opponent is just ridiculous. And I'm scared that Yuri, with his hands down, although he had his hands slightly up when he was fighting Jamal Hill, his hands are particularly over here, somewhere around here. And if Khalil catches him with one of those straight right lefts, or even right, or those vicious kicks to the body, I don't know how many of those Yiri is going to take, because he does take a lot of damage. We've seen that. We've seen that across fights, that Jiri Prochazka takes a lot of damage. And it did not benefit him when he faced Alex twice. Because Alex is not the kind of fighter who you let him hit you, because you're going to get knocked out sometime. Right? And that's what happened with Jiri, particularly in the first fight. In the second fight, he wasn't even there, because Alex caught him with the left hook at the end of round one, and then just knocked him out with that vicious left high kick at the start of the second round. So Yuri does let fighters do damage or inflict damage upon him, and that's only because of his style. He keeps his hands ridiculously low. I know he has this awkward movement where he has to keep probably his hands low for his style to be effective against fighters, but against really hard hitters like Khalil Rountree Jr. is one, he can't afford to do that. He can't afford to get hit a lot, right? And that's where I think somewhere Yiri's wrestling comes into the picture. And if he is really smart enough, if he is really, he tones down his ego a bit and says that, this is a tool that I can effectively use against Khalil. We've seen Khalil fade in the later rounds. We've seen him fade against Alex Pereira after the third round. Till the third round, he was really fast. He was catching Alex. He was winning almost all rounds. He did not win the third round, I believe, but he won the first two rounds against Alex, and he had Alex in quite a lot of trouble with his pace, with his power, with his counter attacks. He had Alex in trouble. And I'm not saying the Jiri fight is going to be similar, because Jiri is going to come out all guns blazing, and with his awkward movement. Khalil hasn't particularly faced anyone of that style, so it's going to be difficult for Khalil as well. But I'm particularly scared for Yiri in the stand-up, because Khalil has just a ridiculous amount of power, ridiculous amount of uh, I would say speed. He is, I believe, faster than many fighters in the light heavyweight division, and Yiri tends to get hit a lot by many fighters. Even Jamal Hill, in the second round of their fight, had him, caught him a lot of times, had him in trouble a lot of times. And if Jamal is getting through to you, we saw the fight with Khalil Rountree Jr., where Jamal was hardly able to do anything, and maybe that was a different Jamal than the Jamal who fought Jiri Prochazka. But still, if you're getting hit by Jamal, he was getting pieced up by Dominic Reyes as well in his fight. He is going to get hit by Khalil Rountree Jr. And Khalil is not the kind of fighter who you would want to, get hit by. He's similar to Alex, maybe not as strong or doesn't have that vicious left hook like Alex, but he's really, really, really strong. And that's where I think he needs to test Khalil Rountree Jr. with his wrestling. He has a good wrestling base. Why not build that? Why not show Khalil Rountree Jr. that I have this in my arsenal and I'm going to take you down at will? Khalil has had problems with wrestling. He's been submitted. Of course, that was before he went to Thailand and became a Muay Thai legend. But still, he's had problems, and he's not had fighters, actively pursue him in the wrestling. Even against Anthony Smith did not particularly try to take him down. I don't know why or how, what Anthony Smith was thinking in his mind, that he's going to go out there, pressurize Khalil Rountree Jr. and then make it ugly and then probably get the finish or get the decision. But he paid the price for that. Khalil was piecing him up at the end of the first round, in the second round, and the third round he got that vicious knockout. And Jiri, though he's not Anthony Smith, he has a lot of power in his own right, and he will catch Khalil Rountree Jr. I don't know if he's going to knock him out or he's going to be faster than Khalil. But I believe it's going to be a really, really competitive fight in the stand-up. I don't think it's going to be like Khalil is going to catch him and that's going to be the end of it. I hope it's all guns blazing. It's even better than the Alex Pereira and the Khalil Rountree Jr. fight. But still, why not play it smarter? Why not test Khalil Rountree Jr. where he's not been tested a lot? A lot of the times where he is on this winning streak, apart from the Alex fight, why not test him? Why not drag him to deeper waters where he's not been in? And that's what I believe can be the difference for Jiri Prochazka. Yes, he can defeat him in the stand-up with his awkward movement, with his Shotokan karate style, etc., etc. But still, he has this tool in his arsenal. And this tool, the wrestling tool, has been so effective in the UFC. Even if you don't get takedowns, like Magomedov did not get takedowns against Alex Pereira, the wrestling kind of plays into your mind that he's going to If I overcommit to my shots, if I overcommit to my straight left that Khalil throws quite a lot, maybe he'll duck and take me down. And that's going to be a problem. That is a tool that was playing on Alex's mind in the Ankalaev fight. It played on his mind quite a lot. And if this kind of strategy plays in Khalil Rountree Jr.'s mind, this is going to effectively take away a lot of his agility, a lot of his movement, a lot of his power. He's going to be really, really cautious of the takedowns if you take him down once. And Yeri should try that. He doesn't try that. That's the problem. He tried it with Alex because maybe in the first fight, he tried it with Alex because maybe Alex's kicks were getting too much for him. And he said, you know what? I'm going to take him down, I'm going to tire him out, and then in the second round, I'm going to knock him out. Did not work for him, but at least he showed Alex Pereira what he was capable of. And Alex was able to get the knockout in the counter attack, but still, that fight was pretty interesting. That fight, I would say, till the knockout, Jiri Prochazka was ahead in the scorecards. And that is the fight that maybe Jiri needs to play out against Khalil Rountree Jr. to make it really, really interesting, really, really, play with Khalil Rountree Jr.'s mind. Because if it's going to be a stand-up, it's anyone's game. Of course, Yeri is not a bad stand-up artist, but it's still anyone's game. If he uses this tool, let's see how good Khalil Rountree Jr. is in the wrestling department. So that's my take. Jiri Prochazka has one upper hand over Khalil Rountree Jr. The real question is, will Jiri Prochazka use it?